So last evening of dinner at the conference or course that I'm at, it was an interesting day. I didn't bother vlogging my lunch because it was pretty much the same as yesterday, minus the pad thai. So instead, the chef made me a kind of sweet chili glazed grilled tofu, which was great, and I just had it with some more salad and hummus and a vegan roll. So that was good. It was a little boring, but it's just lunch, and I knew that the dinner this evening would be a little bit heavier, so I was fine with eating lighter, and I was able to get myself a snack this afternoon, which was great. So dinner was interesting. We had a tomato risotto rice, which was delicious, and they confirmed it was vegan, with some fingerling potatoes. And then there was roasted cauliflower with it, which was delicious. And then as a starter, there was also a tomato bisque soup, and that was also vegan, and then a glass of wine. So it was a good dinner, again, not super heavy, and I actually chose to not finish the risotto all the way because I just was finding it really filling, and I didn't want to overeat. So yeah, but in general, the flavor of this meal was even better than last night's, and probably better, definitely better than today's lunch. So I would say overall, pretty good. Starting to get a little bit tired of salad and things like that, so I may or may not stay here for lunch tomorrow. We have the option of just leaving after our final session tomorrow morning. So based on the food, I may not stay for lunch, but that's totally cool, because then I'll get home and I'll be able to maybe make something a little bit more diverse than what I've been having. But overall, a good experience, and a good test to see if a location could accommodate my vegan diet, as long as I provided them with some advance notice, but also following up with them, asking. That's the big thing. I mean, they asked me in my registration package in advance if I had special dietary concerns. I made it really clear. However, I've still kind of noticed that I still had to stay on top of asking, in advance of each meal, reminding them, making sure that they knew that, if this is going to be a plated meal, that I need a vegan option. There were some things that were standard that were available, like almond milk in the cooler and things like that, and lots of herbal teas. And some options on the breakfast buffet that just happened to be vegan. So I'm not really sure if that was a conscious choice, but I do think that there are some areas for improvement. But compared to, say, 5 years ago, actually I feel like I have a lot more options than I normally would have. Not necessarily at this location, I've never been here before, but definitely more options in general at a kind of away conference or workshop where they're providing the food. So good experience overall, and on top of it all, not only did I not go hungry, but at the same time, I didn't feel like I had to choose unhealthy options in order to be vegan. So I think that's really important to me, because I am, on top of being vegan, trying to eat low calorie, eat more whole foods, avoid a lot of carbs and excess sugar. So the fact that some things were custom made for me were great, because I didn't necessarily want extra sauces on, say, my tofu every time I had it. So that was good, and you don't know until you ask. So that's just a piece of feedback that I would share, because it's helpful to other vegans to kind of remember that. But you don't know until you ask. So that's all for now, and I'm not sure. I guess I'll do a closeout tomorrow morning before I wrap out of here. But otherwise, good experience so far. I thought I would just close out my vlog by talking a little bit about what the overall experience was like. So it was pretty happy with the effort made to try to accommodate me in the moment, and I was able to kind of throughout the period, outside of meal times, find things like almond milk, fruit, lots of fruits and veggies and options like that. And then I also noticed that the more I asked, the more things started to appear on each day, on the kind of breakfast bar or the snack bar. For instance, this morning there were vegan power bars. And it looked like maybe a packaged bar that had been opened and then cut kind of fancy and put on a plate. But that right there showed that they were making an effort, that they were trying, and that they were listening. So that was great, because who knows, maybe the next time I come to this facility, and I say vegan, right away, they'll know what things they can provide and put them out, as opposed to me having to ask. Because when you're somewhere and you're in the moment, you don't always necessarily think to ask for those things. So so that was great. And overall, the quality of the food was fantastic. It did get a little boring, having salad all the time, and I have decided to try and stay for lunch, only because it's a great networking opportunity, and whether or not I actually end up eating anything, we'll see. If I'm not particularly interested, I might just have a glass of water or something light, but I may save having a salad for at home, when I can kind of pick my own toppings, because of course when I have a salad at home, I like to have multiple types of lettuce, I like to have sprouts, I like to have a protein option on the salad, and I like to pick my own dressing and not have to keep asking about them and whether or not they're vegan. So that's just my perspective, and I think that overall it was a great experience. So you can do it, even in a controlled environment where you're not leaving a location and you have to keep asking. Sometimes the food isn't what you'd like, but you can kind of make it work. And the other option is to come prepared, and that's what I did too. So having snacks, having maybe a breakfast option for even the first 1 or 2 days, just to help you with that transition period, get oriented with the place, and then by the second or third day, by then you know the ropes, you know how to ask, you're a little bit more comfortable, and then you don't need those things that you brought as much. And actually, that's what ended up happening. I didn't eat all of the things I brought for snack time, because I was able to see and find options, or they started putting out more options for me. So that was great, and yeah, I'm just excited that being vegan at a controlled location is becoming a little bit less difficult, and to me that's a win. I've been vegan for 17 years, and when I went to courses and hotels and locations, even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I may not have had as many options, and definitely a better experience. So yeah, and again, it's not just about eating vegan, it's about eating healthy, and that was my biggest concern this time, and I was able to accomplish it. So yay, and now I'm off to final lunch, and then I'll be heading home, which I'm ready for. I'm ready to go home and have more protein options than just tofu, but yeah, so I hope this vlog helps other people who are going to be traveling, whether for vacation or for business, and just don't be afraid to ask. You never know until you do. So take care.